Hola! Hi! Today I want to do a different video. I want to make an exercise with you to warm up with our brushes. Last night I have a great workshop with anthropology that was amazing and gave me tons of ideas that I want to share with you here in Patreon. And I want to teach you to the way how we can make some exercise with watercolors to have better flow with the brushes. So I'm going to bring some watercolors, new watercolors that I have here, new colors that I bought here. And we're going to try with any brush that you want, but I'm going to recommend use a number 4 or number 2 brush. And we're going to do some exercise to get used to our brushes. So here is not a specific size of brush that you have to use, but it's important that you do this with all the brushes that you have new, so you get used to your brushes. So for this exercise we're going to use cellulose paper. My favorite cellulose paper is this Canson XL. This one is 9 by 12 inches, comes 30 page, and this is like $11. I'm going to leave the link of this one for you. I prefer this one and this brand for make my exercise. So let's start with this fun exercise today. Get ready your watercolors, spray some water to activate the colors, and this exercise we're going to do it with purple or violet, magenta. I want to use yellow and orange, so doesn't matter exactly what shade of these colors is, just these are the colors that we're going to use. I already have some of those pigments in this palette because I used this one last night for my watercolor workshop with anthropology. I'm so excited with that. It was amazing time together sharing with you. I have all the colors and the pigments ready here. We spray water, we mix a little bit and have ready the colors to work. I'm just going to work with a couple of these colors, and we're going to start with this exercise. We start with the color, the dark color that we have in the palette, that's going to be the violet, and we're going to put a lot of pigment in the top, clean with water the brush, and blend the color with just water. This exercise doing gradients going to help us to know better our colors, and it's so fun because you're going to see how watercolors blends together and works together, and this is the fun part of the watercolors, when you see how they do whatever they want. Watercolors never is the same thing. Always you have different results when you work with the watercolors in this way. Now we're going to take the quinacridone rosé in this case, or maybe pink or magenta if you have, and we're going to start here blending the color, a little bit more pigment here, and with just water continue. This exercise is really good to practice the water control too. Now we can put some red. I know that I don't tell you red, but if you have red, we can put some here. If you don't have the red next to you, you can use the orange. Now clean the brush. Always have a paper towel next to you to clean the brushes. I don't know, I tell you before this for sure. I have paper towels that this one have at least 4 years, this one 1 year. I keep my paper towels like it's art for me too. I have love for my paper towels. I know that is crazy, but I just love how they look with all these colors. And now we have to do this exercise fast because this paper, cellulose paper, dries faster. So here you can see that how this one doesn't have too much water, the colors doesn't blend in the same way that here. So what we have to do is put more water. Was funny last night. The word that I must repeat with my students was use more water, use more water. The key with watercolors, that is the name, watercolors. You have to use tons of water. Look at how opaque is this orange. When we have colors like this and another colors like with more transparent like this, so we're going to have to use our brush to clean a little bit the pigment. So what we do is we clean the brush, take pigment, clean the brush with water, use our paper towel, and again clean the pigment and water, clean the brush, and take pigment with the brush. Another key is you can use Q-tips. It's just, oh yes, I have some here. You can use some Q-tips and take a little bit pigment. And now that we don't have too much pigment here, just water. Just water to blend the colors together like this. More water. Perfect. Now we can put our yellow. Here. And we finish here our gradient. This is the first exercise, warming up with watercolors. I want to share with you a little bit how was our watercolor workshop yesterday, last night. And I'm going to share some pictures here with you of our watercolor workshop. Was amazing time together. I like to do this online, and we have our Patreon, our community. I highly recommend to join there. We have a lot of classes there, and it's so nice to have this community. We share our projects and we share all our work, and this time that is amazing. Watercolors is so therapeutic and is something good for the soul. Brings me tons of joy. Have the opportunity to sit all days and works with this medium that is amazing, and is something that you never knows how going to finish this, because the magic of the watercolors is that you can let the things flow without have any control. Is the way that I like to work with watercolors. So this was a little bit of the work that we do last night. We go with anthropology. This was a farmer's market. This is the first layer, the color palette that we use. This one is the second layer and the final layer. This result was so nice and easy for my students. If you want to go to my Patreon, I have, you can download those images, so you have the reference to make this painting. And yes, I'm so excited for my workshop. That's why I want to share that with you. Let's continue with this exercise about warming up with our brushes. Now we're going to take any color and we're going to do a shape. I want to do a heart shape. Tons of pigment. The key is do the outline with a lot of pigment and then clean the brush. Take just water fast. This has to be fast so the outline doesn't dry. And just with water, blend the color like this. More water in the middle because I want is bright. The center of the figure. So we have clean the brush with the paper towel and take more pigment here like this. Perfect. Now I want to do a uniform shape, something like a cloud. I don't have too much pigment in this brush, so maybe I take another color. When you see the pigment too watery like that, just take maybe a dark color. Yes, like this. And blends with water. Another thing that we can do here that is so fun, like the gradients, is we can use a light color like a yellow here to continue painting the inside of our form. Like this. More water. Water, and we have a nice mix here. Perfect. And the last, maybe paint a circle here, a oval. I did it with orange, water, and I want a little bit magenta in the middle, like this. So we have like two colors here. You know, we can put some violet too and see the result. These have tons of pigment. We can clean with our brush. Take the pigment with your brush and clean in the paper towel. Now we're going to use the violet to make some lines with our brush. I use a lot this brush. This brush doesn't have like a tip. Let me change the brush for one with a tip here. I have this one. This one is a number 6, have a tip. So let's take the pigment, tons of pigment, and we're going to do this exercise that is so good for warming up with our brushes. Just with the tip, we're going to make a line, then push the brush, hold it, and a line again. Push the brush, hold it, a line, and again. Repeat it until the end of the page. Be patient if in the first time doesn't go like you want. The key is do it a lot of times. So we have this big oval here. Now we're going to try to make it small. The tip, push just a little bit the tip, just push a little bit the tip. I'm not sure that you can see all this in the video. We figured it out when I finished doing this. Always goes different. I'm here in a weird position to have the microphone in front of me because I want to have a good quality of audio and how I can put my hand in the paper. But the keys always have support. In this exercise, the support has to be here because we have to do the tip and push, tip and push. So the support going to be here, but in always try to have support here and here. That is the key to have good strokes with the brushes. Now let's do some lines, just lines. This one very tiny here, and one more like this. You can do, I just do this 2 times here, but the key is you try to do it more and more and more and more. Always try to have support here. My position, like I tell you, not is the best one to do this exercise because I have the microphone in my face, and that is big one. And yes, the table and everything. I always like to have the paper like more close to me, and I don't put it like horizontal. I put it a little bit like this, and it's comfortable for me. But to make the video, I need to do it in this way because I want you to learn well. So now we're going to do some leaf, but we're going to mix our colors. So let's take violet, the tip, push, leave it. We have the first leaf, right? Again, the tip, push, leave it. Here, tip, push, leave it. And I'm not sure that you can see well there. I'm going to move my hand like this. The tip, push, leave it here. Tip, push, leave it. And repeat it. You can mix the colors. You can do it just with one. I like to mix the colors to do this exercise. Actually, I recommend to use more water so the colors blends together very cool. I have this rose mediator here. I'm going to take more because I feel I don't have enough there. No, the same. Oh, maybe orange here. The colors, when you blend together 2 colors, looks so cool. I love how that looks. Doesn't have to be perfect. Watercolors is about have fun with they, not to be perfect. So we have our leaf. It's a great exercise for your hand too. And now clean your brush, and we're going to do and finish this with some patterns. We can do some waves like these just with the tip of our brush. Waves. Do some spots. Just, yeah, like a tiny spots with the tip of our brush. We can change the colors of our, like I do a gradient, but just with spots. It's good that you practice how and what you can get in the way that you take your brush, just using the tip like this. Look at how the spots, how it looks when I use it vertical, the brush. When I use with a little bit inclination, I have different that looks like leaves. We can do some spirals too, just with the tip of our brush. We can do some branches too, just the branches with the tip of our brush. Like this, some branches or some big leaves like this. If you want, when you have this leaf ready, you can use it a violet on top. So you make a like this too. You can change that color. And here you can continue filling the whole paper. You can do some lines here that follow the way of the hair. Some spots. This is the most fun part. Try to do some small circles. Little lines. Hearts. I try to do it like this. I like it. Like one spot here, one another here. And in this way, if you do this with each brush that you have, you can practice and know what you can get with all the brushes that you have. So I recommend to do this exercise with all the brushes that you have, so you know better your brushes, you know where and when you can use it, and what is the shapes that you can get with your brushes. I have more of these tutorials on my Patreon, and I'm going to make a fun tutorial this week about gradients and color palettes, and do gradients with this with these color palettes. And if you wanna take this class too, I highly recommend to you to join to my Patreon. Thank you so much for being here. I know that I'm not so active like before in YouTube, but I really appreciate your patience editing these videos. It's hard to me, but when I do it is for my Patreons, because you know, I'm an artist, so I need to live, and my Patreons help me to support my dream like an artist. So that's why I always like give priority to editing the videos for Patreon. Now I'm writing a book about watercolors, so I have less time to this. But I'm happy to have this time to share with you in YouTube this important exercise. I hope you have an amazing day, and thank you so much for being here and for all your support. See you soon.